us be realistic here. Let us be, at the end of the day, that the situation with in with the Aborigines or whatever in South America or whatever it is, still does not mean that country like America is not doing. They are doing very well. India is doing very well, the fifth largest economy, and so on and so forth. But we have a situation where there's a big contraption in our own constitution. That is the truth. Our constitution is just not working, and it's all because the 1999 constitution was put together by iron fist people, the army that give order and say, look, put it together. I have a couple of friends that took part in that constitution, and I know exactly what it is. They said this is what they want. They have nothing against a constitution that allows everybody to function, to breathe, to use, I mean, to do their thing their own way. As you know, in America, there are almost 50 something countries, where you might not call them countries, but they're all functional. We don't have that in Nigeria. And I'm very happy to note that as we speak now, the present president is making efforts to at least to decentralize certain things where at least everybody will be able to breathe. Because that is the problem. The people who are campaigning for self-governance. They have a reason. Most of their reason will include that, oh, we are unable to do this, we are unable to do that, because everything has been centralized. And I think that is the area we need to critically look and
Okay, let me come on to Deacon Obanlewo. I've got the Constitution in front of me because at any point we may need to go to the Constitution and talk about this sort of stuff. And the fact of the matter is we have a federation. Okay, we don't have a unitary system. We have a federation. This idea that we don't run a federation is fake news. We actually have a federation. We don't have one government, and we have states. In fact, there's more devolution with states than regions. So I find it's kind of scandalous that we should be going backwards, where everyone's trying to devolve things to lower levels. We want to go back to regions. More states, 36 states. We had 12 at one point. We went 19, and we now have 36. So there's actually more governments. It's actually more closer to the people than ever before. Now, when we look at this section, part 1, Section 2(1) of the Nigerian Constitution, it says Nigeria is one indivisible and indissoluble sovereign state to be known by the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Are you saying that this clause needs to be removed? What is your view? Should Nigeria not be an indissoluble sovereign state, or should we go for scatter Nigeria?
Femi, I believe that question is directed to me.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I've just listened to what you just, the narrative and your views on one united Nigeria. But I personally, I don't think we have a Federal Republic of Nigeria that is working, even though a lot of people will always have a different perception about the direction Nigeria should take. But we still have to understand the concept of life. Nigeria as a country, ethnicity will always play its part towards the development and the progress of our country. And when you look at the whole structure in Nigeria, whether we tend to agree or not, the Yorubas, we tend to be the ones, the major tribe that has been so marginalized. And
all right, really?
Yes, we are. Yes, I mean, in terms of when we talk of
the people of the south, the people of the southeast who have never been the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria elected might think differently to what you're saying.
Let me just finish my.
Go ahead.
I mean, we've been told, and Nigerians, especially the Yorubas, will never forget, what happened in 1993. The freest and the fairest democratic election in Nigeria that was annulled during the regime of General Ibrahim Babangida with flimsy excuses. That would have been the perfect opportunity to put Nigeria back to where she fully belongs. But unfortunately, and if you look at the trend, the sequence of events going back to the Second Republic from 1979 up to this present dispensation, the Yoruba tribe, we've not been treated fairly, even though I am not for terrorism. I am against persons putting the law into their hands, agitating for Oduduwa nation without following due process. There is what they call due process. But until we as citizens begin to choose freedom over fascism, and we have to understand that in Nigeria as a country, we have chosen impunity over freedom. We have chosen impunity over the needs of our people. And it's high time people come out robustly to defend what rightfully belongs to them. And in the last 8 years of the past dispensation, Nigeria as a country has witnessed what has never been witnessed in the history of Nigeria: terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, all sorts, and which has actually had a negative impact more on the Southwest than any other region in Nigeria. So these are all the things now people will look at. That look, in our own country, even in our own community, we are not safe. So what do? Do we just fold our arms? Do we just say it's normal? How can we be strangers in our own community? How can we be strangers in our own environment? And that is what are the idea of people trying to advocate for what rightfully, is their rights, their constitutional rights. That Nigeria as a country is not working. Federal Republic of Nigeria, just by name, just by title, it's now time we go back to federalism, and everybody has to do what is right in the interest of their own people for a better future. And that's my take on that.
Right, good. I want to just re-emphasize, because we must speak factually and not speak stuff of opinion. You said our constitutional right, and I repeat again, there is no provision within the Constitution for self-determination. So I don't know what right you're referring to. If you can tell us what part of the Constitution refers to this right, then we can go from there. I want to come back to you, Citizen AY.
Mm-hmm.
So Constitution this question is that the Constitution is about the majority, not the minority, though the minority rights are to be protected. You understand? So I want to understand, what is the issue here that people are saying? Because, like I said, every Yoruba people have their own states. We know what happened the other day. They tried to overthrow the state of Oyo State.
That's
Oyo
correct.
State is controlled
And it is not acceptable. It is not something to be supported. Right. I condemn it totally. So, but there's no argument with me there.
I get the impression that there's some kind of justification for the will for self-determination, and I want to get to the bottom of that. There is no law that tells you can be self-determined. How are people who want to be self-determined? Because Deacon said that they should follow the constitutional way. What is the constitutional way?
Right. One of the things that we are advocating for, and greetings to Deacon Adeoye. And I get
my brother. Hey,
good to see you. I see where he's coming from, and it makes a lot of sense. Ordinarily, we would be able to say that Constitution speaks for you and I. It speaks for everybody. But again, somebody mentioned in the discussions, and I greet my father as well, Otumba. He mentioned the fact that the military concocted our current constitution. Now, the fact remains that constitution is devoid of our collective participation in that process. So whatever they wrote, when they say Nigeria is one indivisible, indissoluble, nation and all of that, those are words that are not backed by the mass public opinion, i.e. expressed by a... Hang on. You asked me a question. I'm trying to answer you.
No, I'm hearing you.
Right. Okay. Good. So now, it's not backed by a mass public support, whereby there's been a demonstration saying we agree with what those who now put the initial decree now into what is now a constitution. There's a divide, and that remains the essential issue here. So when you talk about the fact that the constitution does not give you any right for self-determination, you're right, because it isn't within that. And those who wrote that constitution, they have not allowed the voice of the people to be heard. That is why there is so much discourse in our land. Don't forget, the same constitution made it okay for certain people to go out and insert Sharia law and all of this stuff. And there is no again.
Does the Sharia law in any northern state, does it apply to us in the southwest?
No, it doesn't directly apply, but
so
the key thing, no.
Isn't that evidence enough?
No.
That each region and each area and each state has the opportunity to rule their state the way that they want.
No, because what happened, you see, I'm trying to say this, please. I'm not washing away what you said. They went by the back door after the 1999 Constitution was written, and 12 states decided. What should have happened was this should have been open to everybody to decide, do we want Sharia law to be part of our process? No. But it wasn't. Okay. And that's the problem. Again,
but I repeat, is Sharia law imposed on other states other than the North? Is it imposed in the Southeast? Is it imposed on the South-South? No. Be
covertly,
because you said that they imposed it on other people.
What I am saying to you is, in terms of written law, it hasn't been imposed. But in their actions, just take for example, when this farm herders go into the southwest and they go and destroy farms because of feeding their own cattle, disregarding what we in the north, in the south, consider to be ours. You don't see any Yoruba person going to the north and saying, no. I'm going to do it like this. We follow what they do. So that's the problem.
Let me go because of time. Let me go to Reverend Gabriel.
Yeah.
As I repeat again, in the south, they've come together and created a ban on open grazing. Okay. That's a law specific to the South and a few northern states. That's more evidence again of true federalism, where in your state you can have any law that you think is appropriate for you. You don't need to impose it on anybody else. We also have Amotekun in the South West. We have Ebebiagu in the South East.
Mm-hmm. Okay? Yeah, we have all those bodies. Yes,
I'm not talking. These are not in the North. The North are now waking up and thinking they need their own kind of similar things. Is this not, again, true evidence of federalism in play? And I go back to you, and the question, which AY hasn't answered, is what is the constitutional way to have true federalism, self-determination, that many people seem to be clamoring for? I think they're the minority. I think that the majority of Nigerians do not want Scattered Nigeria, and that these people are the minority. They're a vocal minority, but they're not the majority. What say you, Reverend? Reverend Gabriel.
Yeah. Thank you. You know what? There's this argument I've always had from people, and that the problem is our constitution. No, it is the operators that are the issue. The governors have got their own right. Have they exercised the right as they should have it, as they have it in the Constitution? Have they? Now they can do so much, but they are just doing little as long as their personal fiefdom is just. I mean, they contain themselves within their personal fiefdom. Ordinarily, in nothing says each region cannot develop if we truly want to do it. But we are just hiding. Okay, by the way, we are talking about the 1999 Constitution. Go and unfortunately, we may not be able to place them side by side. Go and look at 1999 Constitution and 1979 Constitution. Come and tell me what is the difference.
That's what I'm saying. And I've already sorry, Reverend. I've already said that even if you go to the regional constitution of the regional constitution, that too doesn't talk about self-determination and all that kind of stuff. There's no difference. So whichever constitution they want to go back to, it's the same.
The 1999 constitution is just an exact replica of 1979 constitution. And don't forget, 79 constitution was led by Justice Udodoma. Justin Nikitobi was one that fashioned the 1999 constitution, right? And these are civilians.
I'll do. Professor Audu.
Fine. The 1999 may have some little things, but then the platform of that constitution was indeed the 1979 constitution. 1979 constitution.
Reverend, I just want to get to the key question now. What is the constitutional approach to have these amendments or these changes that these people, the Scatter Niger agitators are calling for? How can they have their sway?
The only way is to go through our representatives, because we have a constitution that governs us now. We are not a nation of what we want to call it, that is in the total disarray. We don't want anarchy. We have something that rules us, and it says if we want this to happen, this is the path to take. It's not by carrying hodges. It's not by going to the street. So let's follow the constitutional approach, and if everybody agrees, so be it.
Could I chip in there at all?
No, just a moment. I want to remind you, you're watching Enough is Enough Sorosoke with my guest, Citizen AY, Reverend Gabriel and Otumba Oseni and Deacon Adeoye Obanlewo. You can contact us at our Prime View Television. I thank every one of you who are making your comments. It's very interesting, and many of the points, some of them will be answering them. But if you want to call in, please call in on +44 7939 895 108. If you're a supporter of Oduduwa Republic, you don't even have to identify yourself as such. You can give your name, your location, where you're from, and tell us why you support Oduduwa Republic. Or if you're actually in favor of better Nigeria and one Nigeria, call in +44 7939 895 108. Let us know where you stand. Now, I want to come on to you, Otumba Oseni. Sorry, you wanted to come back quickly. Be brief, Citizen AY.
Okay, listen. I just wanted to just say this. The foundation of Nigeria is faulty. Whether you look at the 79 Constitution or the 99 Constitution, the fact is it's faulty. Now, if you are going to get the people to participate in the process, you have to give them confidence in that process. And that is what I'm trying to really get to. I am for Yoruba Nation. I'm very clear about that. But let's be very, very real. If we are even going to have a function in Nigeria, then at least let the people's voices be heard in that process. As it currently stands, the people's voices is always on the sidelines, never really being able to play a part. And also, critically, the people are not able to actually have actively participate in their governance, which is something we're trying to address by raising awareness and making people look at Section 14.2a and 14.2c, making them know that they can actually hold their governance to account. But I'll stop there for now. Thank you for giving me the time. Let me hear us go.
I thank you for that. But as I keep saying, this is a false narrative, it's a false flag statement, because we are operating a democracy where we have political parties. I can't remember how many parties we had last time. The one election, there was like a toilet roll paper parties. Now we've got, I don't know, less. So there's the freedom to vote, freedom to take part in political associations. You can elect whoever you like. So at the end of the day, let me go to Otumba. In recent times, we've seen Scatter Nigeria agitators taking sway in the northwest with Boko Haram, who create separate caliphates and declare their own caliphates, more or less independence. Yeah. In the south, we also had they declared that they will make Nigeria ungovernable, the Niger Delta, militant warlords, by sabotaging the oil and gas fields. In the southeast, we had the Declaration of Independence of the state of Biafra. And now we have Oduduwa Republic, the independence. This Saturday in Oyo, they sought to overtake the government of Oyo. What is your view on that, Otumba Oseni, as a supporter of Oduduwa Nation?
Yeah, well, let me start by saying the aborted, or whatever you want to call it, the activities that involve the Ponitiri on the 12th of April has nothing to do with the people who are campaigning. I don't use the word agitating. We are not agitating at all. For the people who are campaigning for a Yoruba nation.
Semantics, though.
No,
Campaigning agitation is the same thing.
the question again, you just I don't know whether that is error or not. You just compare a group of people, that's campaigning for their own autonomy compared to Boko Haram. They are just completely two different people. Boko Haram are campaigning for Western. They are campaigning against the lifestyle of the other members of the.
They're campaigning for independence and to be separated and to
No, 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 no.
instill Sharia law on their part of Nigeria. They're not. They're not.
Sharia law already. You just said it.
No, but they
Sharia law-
want their own caliphate. They say that the Sharia that's been done on our constitution is not good enough.
Their initial request is like they have everything against Western education, and again they did not want to impose all that. But let me quickly address the area. The question again I want to ask you: what is wrong in a relationship where you say let us readdress, rearrange, redesign, and some other things? What is wrong if part of the country as we speak? After all, if this has been properly done, 1914 amalgamation already is prescribed for. If you are not happy, 100 years after, you can choose. You can.
Where's that provision in that amalgamation, which doesn't even count for anything? Is there a provision? Because in order for you to have an amalgamation, a statement like that, like for example, when Hong Kong was declared 100 years to be owned by the British, at the end of 100 years, there was a sovereign country called called China at that time. Excuse me, I've got a call coming in. Good evening. This is Enough is Enough at Sorosuke. What's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Dr. Olufemi Obakan. We're calling from London.
Okay, good evening, Obakan. How can we help you? What's your comment or statement?
Yeah, my comment and my statement, make a comment and make a statement. My comment is about the fact that one of the said that the governance or the constitution is not making people have their voice. And the thing is what does it mean by people not having their voice? People voted for a democratic government, and at the moment was voted, and this state was voted for the people that live in those places, and that is assumed that these people there's people. Secondly, they're putting the blame on the constitution of Nigeria. What constitution run on that will make it look at this is a Yoruba constitution? So they want to form a nation that doesn't have a constitution yet. And what does that mean? They are working on anarchy. Lastly, my comment is this. When they rule or when they take over so-called Yoruba nation they're talking about, are they going to bring other people from other parts of the world who are Yorubas to come and run the government apart from the current Yoruba leaders in those places? So this is just an act of futility, which is an act of disobedience, and this punishable because it's treated. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, it's a betrayal of the Yorubas. Okay, I've got Deacon or Abanle. Well, you heard what?
Can I finish?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, let me let Otumba finish. Go on, Otumba. Sorry, my apologies.
I want to start by asking this question. I will respond to Femi at the appropriate time. I heard him very well. What he said. Now, what is wrong when there's an association, a union going on, and certain part of the association comes and say, look, let us sit down and rearrange, readdress, and reappraise certain things in this relationship. What is wrong in that? Should we force should we force ourselves to be governed by? Should we force ourselves to be together? Yes, that's fine. That the constitution does not provide for a referendum. That's fine. And like one or two other people said, we can work towards, we can talk, we can negotiate. But what is wrong in saying, look, let us rearrange this relationship? What is wrong in that?
Okay, good. Let me bring that question. Let me bring that question to Deacon. Deacon, what is wrong with if we want to be different, we want to separate ourselves? I've repeated again, what is the constitutional approach? The constitutional approach is you set up Oduduwa Nation Party, you seek the votes and the mandate of the people. A lot of people are staying clear of these people. They were supporting them before. All of a sudden, they told them that it's treason, and suddenly people are not supporting them anymore. They're saying, no, I'm not part of them. I'm not part of them. I want Oduduwa Nation, but not with those. Those people are carrying flags saying Oduduwa Nation. They're gone there with their uniform, Oduduwa Nation. The flag that I see on your head, there, the same flag. There's not like there's any difference between what they're saying and what you're saying. The only difference is that they've chosen to take up arms. And the other people are not choosing to go constitutionally. They're not going to seek the votes and the mandate of the people they claim to be speaking for. What is the difference between them and IPOB?
Femi, you see, I personally, I believe in following due process. I agitate for a country that will be free for all. But unfortunately, if we actually look at the sequence of events, as I reiterated earlier, about 15 minutes ago when I was throwing a question, I said, unfortunately, nepotism has been the order of the day in our country. Nobody actually has the best interest of Nigeria at heart. Everybody seems to be doing as they please or doing things that will actually favor their own tribe. And when you really look at the history of the Northerners, going back to the Second Republic, even going back to the era of the Awolos, the Nnamdi Azikiwes, and the Bayoros, the Northerners have always believed in feudalism. And the Northerners will continue to believe in the advocacy of feudalism till kingdom comes, which is one person directs them, tells them what to do, and they just follow instructions. That is not the way we are put out. We believe that we have to do what is best for the interest of everybody, irrespective.
Okay.
And
so,
collectively, the Yorubas are now saying, you know what? In terms of education, in terms of exposure, in terms of everything, we are an outstanding tribe. Now we are being marginalized as a tribe in our own country.
So many people are going to find what you're saying outrageous, but go and carry on.
Look, Femi, the truth needs to be told, and we need to be sincere with ourselves. Sincerity of purpose, sincerity of heart should be the norm. And this topic, is a topic that is passionate to my heart, and it's passionate to a lot of Nigerians, and it's passionate to a lot of Yorubas. And it's high time we understand the intensity of what we're trying to discuss this evening. That when you really look at the broader picture, when you really look at Nigeria as a country, am I getting the reward as a Nigerian, as a Yoruba man? That question, it's only you that can answer that question. Are you getting the reward as an Hausa man? Are you getting the reward as an Igbo man? Are you getting the reward as an Igbo man? Everybody is there in Nigeria. Everybody just hides under the umbrella of one Nigeria. But one Nigeria is not working. And in the event that one Nigeria is not working, as Otumba said earlier, people should be able to say, am I not allowed, or am I not entitled to say, okay, things are not working under one umbrella. Can we not try to do things our own way? But as you said, follow due process. Follow the process that is working.
My question is, why are these people who claim to be speaking for me as a Yoruba man not following due process? Please answer.
No. I said follow due process, which is...
So I'm asking you, why are they not following due process? Why?
You see the unfortunate incident that happened last week in Ibadan. I'm not privy to that. It's not, that is...
Even before that. Forget about what happened on Saturday. Even before that, all the agitations, the Goho and all the rest of them, they didn't follow due process. I didn't see them seeking anyone's mandate. I didn't see them electing anybody. Why are they not doing that?
But Femi, before it got to that stage, what was the federal government under the previous dispensation? What were they doing before it got to that stage? People could not go to their farms anymore. People could not travel without being kidnapped. People could not.
I think there's an exaggeration of the facts. But let me go on to Citizen AY.
Okay.
Look, I put it to you: the most economically prosperous part of Nigeria from independence has been the Southwest. The most educated part of Nigeria is the Southwest.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
so everything, in fact, everything that, because when I hear these terms, marginalization, I shudder to think, what other people in the Igbos will be saying when they hear these kind of comments. What the people in the Northeast will be saying, or people in the Niger Delta who are being raped and pillaged by all other Nigerians, taking their wealth and making and raping it and living large on it. Yoruba Nation, what does it have in terms of what income and wealth that's
Okay.
making it going to be able to stand on its own? So Yoruba Nation is part of those raping and pillaging Nigeria. Because if you say that Fulanis are doing it, if you say Igbos are doing it, Yorubas are part of them as well. So what say you?
Okay. Femi, let me be very, very clear. Again, I'm going to state this categorically. Those of us who are passionate about the long-term view of achieving a Yoruba nation through democratic means, i.e. something like what Scottish people did that took them over 70 years to achieve the sort of semi-independence for the nation of Scotland right now. That is what we're looking at. That's a path that is more realistic. We're not here talking about taking arms. You will not achieve anything by taking arms against your fellow people, no matter how much you disagree. You need to be at the table to sit down and you discuss. And by the way, I'll have to give the government kudos on two things. They are saying that they need to have the state police discussions, i.e. that's going on in the parliament, and also the devolution of powers. Those are real things that I actually, even though I'm for Yoruba Nation, I can see that that's a way forward. The thing that's missing for me, and I think to be able to change the dynamics of the situation now, our people do not have this current constitution in their local languages. It needs to be in our local language. And believe you me, when that happens, it will open the eyes of the very people that you're speaking for. I firmly believe that. It is not about...
The last time you were on this show, I spoke to you about what happened to you. You were not defending the Constitution anymore. You were focused on Yoruba Nation, and you said the Constitution of 1999 is a fraud and is a rubbish. And we shouldn't even look at it.
Yes.
Now,
can I?
But you seem to be saying something different today.
Now, the reason I'm saying this, you see, it is very easy for me, having read the Constitution, to see the flaws within the Constitution. For example, some section 29.4b that talks about if you marry a 2-year-old, that 2-year-old will be deemed to be 18 years old and able to vote in the Constitution. That is a flaw in the Constitution. So that has to be changed. But it is not good enough for me to come and say this is wrong. The people need to experience that themselves. So the knowledge of that Constitution, I recognize that my knowledge alone cannot change anything. We require our entire community to have this knowledge themselves in their language, so they can see what is written in and be able to identify it. So I'm happy to acknowledge that.
Yes, someone has asked you to create your own political party and advocate what you're saying. Are you going to put yourself up for a ballot in the next kind of forthcoming election?
The time may come for that, but we're not there yet, because the people have to be involved in the process. It's not about me. No. That is not about me. It's about our communities. It isn't about me. It's about our communities.
Okay.
I hope that answers the question.
I want to remind you that you're watching Enough is Enough as Sorosoke, the show dedicated to debate and discussions toward a better Nigeria. We're discussing what happened in Ibadan when the Oduduwa Nation agitators, they're calling them miscreants now. They were big supporters of them before, saying that we don't support what they're doing. Clearly,
please don't say that, Femi. I never supported Onitiri. Please don't say that. Please. Femi, please don't say that. Honestly, I don't. Femi, please don't say that. Please don't say that. Please don't. I do not support Onitiri. Please, very important.
My show, I've not accused anyone specifically on this channel. So let's get that straight. Reverend Olusoya, Gabriel Olusoya, is it not the case that many of these people trying to backtrack now were the same ones saying yes? Ogboa is our generalismo. He's going to defend us. And now that they found out that because of Section 37 of the Criminal Code Act, that actually taking up arms and trying to overthrow a state government or a federal government is treason, and the penalty of that is death, a lot of them are backtracking. Is that not the case?
Thank you, Femi. You see, exactly that is. I think it was a misadventure to think carrying up arms is the way to get what we want. And in Nigeria, the Yoruba race has probably been just apart from all that that has been said, we have probably been the intellectual powerhouse of Nigeria, and we tend to provide the glue that holds that nation together by our diplomacy. So how we want to descend to carrying cudgels or whatever to think that is the way, and like it was said earlier, something I think it was you or somebody that raised it earlier on. How could you be if Yoruba at all we want to say anything? What have we even met to come together? Do we have a common agreement? You can't just wake up and be speaking for me. And yet the same thing you are accusing, you are alleging that was wrong with the nation is exactly what you are trying to do, forcing your views on others without seeking what they want. Where's the referendum that was done? Who made anybody Yoruba leader to begin to agitate for freedom of for separationists? No, it doesn't work that way. So and that's why they found out that it has all been on a quicksand and it's just going to sink. And that's why now seeing the feeler that if we continue in this way, of course, after Igboho was taken in, everything went down. Nobody was there shouting again. It's just how do you want to do that without getting the buy-in of the traditional rulers, the political leaders in that environment? It's not going to work. That is not the way.
Good. I want to speak to Otumba Oseni. And in fact, and after everybody can look, because I speak to a lot of people on Yoruba Nation. I'm on their platforms, and I always get this thing that Yoruba want this, Yoruba want to secede, Yoruba want their Yoruba Nation. They're fed up with Nigeria, and I always ask this question: any agitation that doesn't involve the political elite of that nation, it doesn't involve the traditional leaders of that nation. It doesn't include the intelligentsia of that nation. It doesn't include the industrialists and the workers of that nation, the student bodies of that. It's doomed to fail. How can this be a genuine cause? Otumba Oseni, please answer that question.
Yeah, before I answer your question, let me quickly revert to your observation of the 12 April, whatever intervention they call it.
The Independence Declaration. Let's call it what it is. The Independence Declaration of the Yoruba Nation.
Like another thing, there are many branches of Arewa, there are many branches of Igbo, whatever. These are people who decided to. No, look, you know me. Look, I'm at 77. I don't have any reason to lie.
I understand. I understand. I understand.
Yeah, I'm in the last lap or whatever it is. So all I can deal with is to say the truth and say it as it is. That Modupe Onitiri chose to be to want to go and fast track or whatever. She did not get it right. And I remember that I have a witness on the seat here. When she came, I'm the only person that stood up against her and said, look, listen, we are dealing with fraud here. And she has proven me right. So
we're dealing with what? We're dealing with what?
When she came, she started with all this kind of funny way of collecting this and doing this and information that are not correct, and I stood against her. Now, but you see, that is not really funny. What I think is funny is that you are yet to tell us here, because the whole world is listening to this kind of program. There might not be many of them. What is wrong in asking the country? Say, listen. We think we are not doing well. Let us rearrange. Let us reappraise. I keep using that three words. Let us reappraise. So
and I keep asking you, who are the we? Because you're speaking for yourself. You're not speaking for any Yoruba person. You're not speaking for me. Who are the we?
Listen, the we. I mean, I don't know how much joy you get in that. These are not involved. Those are not involved. At the end of the day, 16 sheriffs, whatever in America, make it happen. So we do not need to have a Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, Professor this, Professor that.
Who are the we? Are you speaking for the majority of Yoruba people? Or are you just speaking for yourselves?
We did not necessarily need to speak for the majority. There could be
Oh,
very
okay,
few
all right.
people
Well,
that can make it
all
happen.
right, okay.
And that's
All right.
exactly what has been going on.
Okay, let me. Can
All
I?
right,
The very few
let me
people,
bring Deacon. Let me bring Deacon. Because I want to address you, because you keep on saying that the Yorubas are marginalized. The Southwest is the most peaceful part of Nigeria, irrespective of what you keep on saying. It is the least subject to terrorism and criminality. The Yoruba nation agitators, unlike what happens in the north or what happened in the southeast, were rounded up within 24 hours. All of them were rounded up. The house of Onitiri was destroyed, was demolished. Okay, the other
Yes.
arms and weapons. You know that Onitiri was in the UK. You've seen these people in the diaspora are there going around with Onitiri, funding her and supporting this nonsense that bought the weapons that caused this nonsense. Should anyone that's supporting this kind of violent independence in the UK, who was a diaspora, should they not be subject to extradition and sent to Nigeria to face the terrorism trials that they rightly deserve?
Femi, if you've listened carefully to what Otumba Oseni, my brother Ewa, have been saying, nobody is supporting mediocrity. What we are saying is, if you are to follow due process, you have to apply common sense and abide by the rules and regulations. That is what we are saying. Onitiri and all those sycophants who are actually hell-bent on actually, destabilizing the country and actually putting well-meaningful Yoruba people who mean well, who have the sagacity and the intelligence to know what is right for them. The objective is being defeated here, because what you have now is miscreants who are trying to put the law into their own hands and doing, things that are contrary to what the good Yoruba people who have good intentions and good aspirations, the likes of Babakitoye, the likes of Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, and well-meaningful Nigerians who are actually in diaspora, who want a better society for their unborn children. That's what the program is all about.
They're funding these so-called better Nigerians in the diaspora, funding the insurrection and terrorism back in Nigeria. Should they not be subject to extradition? I'm asking you that question specifically.
That goes
I'm not saying you're one of them. Anyone who is a Yoruba nation proponent in the UK, like Simon Ekpa is doing from Finland, should we not have that person extradited to Nigeria to face trial of treason?
Of course, Femi, I agree with you on that. But the people that were arrested, the person that were arrested in Ibadan last week, it was just they've not provided any apart from Mrs. Onitiri, they've not provided the names of other people in
investigations are ongoing. Investigations are ongoing.
So the investigation is still ongoing. So until that is proven, then we move on from there, and whoever is being found guilty to have participated in this kind of atrocious program, then they need to be brought to justice, as you rightly said. We have to follow due process, and we have to make sure that we conduct our affairs in a thorough and professional manner that will be acceptable to modern day society.
Okay, fantastic. I want to just round up on this topic, because the supposed independence has been foiled, and this again is evidence of the cohesion of the Yoruba nation, which I keep saying is action in support of one Niger and a better Niger. You might not believe it. I'm just telling you, the majority of Nigerians out there, especially Yoruba, are not in favor of scatter Niger, actually in favor of one Niger. We have problems in the country. And what I'm asking you now is, are we in danger? Because this is how Boko Haram started. This is how IPOB started. Are we in danger of going down that route now? Because Igboho was going around with his guns and weapons and ammunition, saying that I can get you, boy, anyone. Everyone was hailing him. Igboho. Is that the kind of leader and the kind of thing that we need for Yoruba nation?
Absolutely not, if I may say here. Let me be very, very clear on this. We do not. Again, you've heard Otumba Oseni, you've heard Deacon Obanlewo speak, and myself. We are part of the major group of people that are spearheading, if you like, Yoruba Nation. And the reason why we were spearheading, and I still believe in Yoruba Nation, is because if we look at how Nigeria has really worked as a nation, our concerns, in fact, the whole nation's concerns, has been sidelined, and the interest of the political elite and those who are serving them has been put as to the fore, whilst we, the people, and the people on the ground are suffering. The reason why Yoruba Nation came about is trying to address those concerns. It doesn't. The main aim wasn't about trying to get a nation. It was looking at the fact that we came to a point where we came to a conclusion and seeing that Nigeria is not really answering the concerns of our people. If we don't try anything, then we are not giving our people a kind of a chance. That doesn't mean that we support any violence. I reject, and like I said, I'm saying it. If anything is done in terms of,
let me go into Reverend.
Right. Okay.
Reverend, the point is, as AY said, the sufferings of the people is not exclusive to Yoruba people. In fact, every Nigerian nation is suffering, and in fact, there is a Yoruba nation. It exists. You don't need to have independence or self-determination to have Yoruba nation. Yoruba nation is already there. We're already a nation. The Southwest, as it were, could cooperate together and be more integrated. There's nothing stopping them from the current constitution from doing that. So this is all just bogus nonsense. And I think it's mostly people who are disenfranchised, not in politics, are moving into the thing. Why is it that when a president from your area comes to become the president, people from that region decide to want to scatter Nigeria? When Buhari was there, it was the Fulani that was doing it. When Jonathan and Yar'Adua are there, it was MEND and Niger Delta Avengers. Now Tinubu is there, Oduduwa Nation are doing it. What is there an agenda to destroy Nigeria from within? Nigerians are the enemies of Nigerians.
Yeah, absolutely, Femi, you are right. Yeah, we are like we Yoruba, the Yoruba will say, "Ori bibe, koni ogun ori fifo." When you have a headache,
true.
don't cut off the head to cure the headache.
I laugh, but yeah.
You look for solution.
Indeed.
There must be a constant dialogue in any relationship, even in your marital relationship. There must be constant dialogue. For you to say, "Go my separate way," hang on a minute. If we go our separate way, who are going to assume leadership? Are they not the political leaders that we are looking at now that we are saying they are not doing? Are they not all together sitting together? Is there any part of the country that is not feeling one pain or the other? Is there any part of the country where we don't have people who are suffering? And what I will have expected is, okay, we can, if there's a rep, we come together, say, okay, we want to through the representative, at least that is the only legal mean of making any change at all, through our representative. We voted them in. Why not go? It's either we begin to sponsor people to go into office, then they begin to speak for us. Don't think, oh, what can one man do? A voice of one man can change situation. You can get there and project things, and people will listen. But if we sit and begin to throw all money, I mean, we sit in the Western world, in the comfort of the Western world, and then begin to do things that will destabilize the country more, and say, okay, we are marginalized. Who is marginalizing who? Who?
Okay, let me go quickly. Let me go to Otumba Oseni. Otumba, Egbo, you are the Agbalagba, the Egbo Patapata in the studio here. I want to go to you. You know, there's hope for a better Nigeria. Maybe in your 70-odd years, you've not seen that great. But I think the youth are more united now than ever before. Of course, the leaders that are ahead of us have bastardized the whole country and messed it up. But the suffering is not exclusive to Yoruba, it's not exclusive to Igbo, and it's not exclusive to people in the South. There are people in the North Central that are marginalized. There are people in the Northeast. There are people in the Northwest. People are being, in fact, it's the people who are being marginalized. Is it not time for the people to come together and elect the kind of leadership or the type of legislatures that you want that will do this amendment that you want so that we can have a better Nigeria? Isn't that the way forward than trying to agitate for something that's not going to happen?
Sounds fantastic. But is it not also right that for these different groups saying, look, alternative to that, let us discuss, let us forge another way, another approach to the solution? What's wrong in that? So we
Okay,
did not need to force, we did not need to force all ourselves together by law and say we must be together. You just said it.
no one's by force.
What manner should that conversation? What route should it take? I mean, it's not easy. We cannot just stay and begin to say, oh, let's if it's not working. Who determines that it is not working?
Yeah, but
There must be coming together of minds. We must channel our thoughts together, so that people can see.
I am also the advocate of that. This arrangement has to be political. I agree with you 100%. I want to have you on my show next time around because
Okay, because of time. Sorry,
this is a political approach, and we need to go political.
Okay,
That's
let me
correct.
go to Deacon.
That
Deacon,
I agree with,
you
and
have
I will state.
Deacon, you have the last say on the way forward to have a more cohesive Nigeria where people are not looking over their back about whether some Fulani herdsman is coming to kill me, or some IPOB unknown gunman is coming to kill me, or some Boko Haram person is coming to kill me, or some Yoruba Nation guys, OPC or whatever is coming to kill me.
No, OPC. No, don't mix OPC separate. No, please.
What can we do?
Don't do that. OPC is separate.
What are we going to do? We know what Gani Adams did when Obasanjo was there. What can we do as a people to unify ourselves and not because it's easy to scatter and destroy. It's much harder to build. I'm talking to you, Deacon.
Yeah, Femi, until we begin to understand the importance of citizenship, you see, when you understand that as one country, as you put it, you want to see a united Nigeria, one country that values themselves, irrespective of ethnicity, tribal issues, that the Igbo man, the Yoruba man, the Efik man, the Hausa man, the EBBOs can come together as one country, then as long as we understand the importance of citizenship, that is the only way forward. That's the only way I see that we can build this in a nation that is fit for purpose, that will be sustainable for 21st century. Without that, tell me, we will still have people agitating for this self-independence, for this referendum to build a community of their own. If they don't think that being together under one umbrella is actually going to have a positive impact in the benefit of all persons or people concerned.
I want to agree with you on that and conclude on that point, on this point, and also to say that citizenship is about also taking part. So citizenship is not just about watching; you have to take part. And so if you don't take part and you stand, and you must take part in the legal process, not the illegal one. No. Take part and be counted to be voted for, and also be voted and vote. You understand? And that's why I also hope that the diaspora can have a voice, because we're having our voice, but we're not full proper citizens because we can't have a vote. We don't have a vote.
One second.
Maybe the Tinubu government will allow us to have diaspora voting before he leaves. Now you're watching.
1 second.
I'm still with my guest via StreamYard, Citizen AY, Reverend Gabriel Olusoya, Deacon Adeoye Obanlewo, and Otumba Oseni. You can contact us on our Prime View Television, YouTube, Facebook, and X handles. You can call in with questions in the comments, like someone has done already, on +44 7939 895 108. I repeat that, the number should be scrolling at the bottom of your screens, +44 7939 895 108. And it's now time for some quick fire current affairs open to everyone on the platform. Start with you, Citizen AY. The rising value of a naira is once again making imports cheaper as opposed to local production. Imported rice has fallen from 84,000 naira to 54,000 naira, whilst local grains and crops have not fallen. Why is it that in Nigeria, when the naira is falling, local prices go up, and when the naira is gaining, the prices stay the same?
Well, I think it tells you that the system that is in place is a two-tier system, and that is something that is firmly, you have to put that at the table of the government, because they have to regulate the systems that allows for the price of goods to be in such a way to have a strong, connection with the lives of the people who are on ground. There's no point managing to farm and trying to buy local goods. and then you find that you come to find that they're more expensive. It actually pushes people to go and buy foreign goods. And that is actually harming our own economy in the long run. And of course, again, the issue with the currency, long term, there should only be one currency, in my view, spent on the Nigerian land, because it's a sovereign nation. It should be naira. When you start having a foreign currency, you are really destroying your own land with your own hand.
EFC and CBN have put in place regulations to make it illegal for any schools, entities, hotels, or whatever to charge in naira. Of course, everybody, I put my hand up. I'm an APC man, but I always said that President Tinubu is an accountant. I'm an accountant. And when you have a president as an accountant, it's quite different from the presidents that we had before.
Yes.
So when they were coming out and telling you that these are the candidates, I always knew that if you have an accountant as your president, he's no fool. He knows what he's talking about.
He knows his onions, yeah.
But some people are telling us that, no, this particular person is better than him because he's younger than him and whatever. That's their own voila. Let me comment to you, Reverend Gabriel Olusara. CBN governor, and I'm talking about CBN governor, he said that the bank has not been using the Federal Reserves to defend the naira, but to pay forward.
I think something. There's something.
Yeah, no, can you hear me? Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Sorry about that. He said that he's not using the Federal Reserve to defend the naira, but to pay forwards and outstanding forex liabilities. What are your views on the continued strengthening of the naira, which is reported to be the best performing currency of the year?
Thank you. Absolutely. When you have a core professional in charge of your monetary policy, then it's only bound to show, particularly a core professional who is not ready to be politicized in any way, who is ready to go the whole hog, somebody who knows his onions. Yeah, that is the right way. That is the right direction. The only snag I see presently is that we need the fiscal policy to begin to go in tune with what what we are experiencing in the monetary. Otherwise, it's going to be something that will not take deep roots, because except the fiscal policy complement what is happening on the monetary side, before you know it, all these gains could just be eroded overnight again. So I think, and again, we all know that the CBN wants to tighten the money in the economy, and that's one of the reasons why the rate has been going up. But then the government will want to spend either in one way or the other from all this the benefit. Things they throw around, money they throw around, because that is the way they want to make people happy. And again, which means the money that's been mobbed out, they are pushing it back. And again, probably in May now, when they talk about the new wage. When they talk about the new wage, it's going to make
more inflation. More inflation.
Yes, okay. Of course, because the people are asking. I think they want very quickly. Probably because the labor should really be looking at how do we bring prices of things down rather than increase in wage. Because increase in wage,
they're talking about a minimum wage of 600 and something million, 1,000 naira. I think they were talking about 2 million naira before. They've come to 600 and something. But we'll see. We'll see. Let me come to Deacon. Deacon. No, someone's meant a point. They said that instead of agitating for Yoruba Nation, we should be agitating for effective local governance, and that's where the problem lies.
I buy that. I buy into that strongly. And if I may say something about that, can I?
Yeah, but no. It's Deacon. I'm going to go to Deacon, and then I'm going to go to Otumba. So then you can make that your point.
Okay.
EFC has declared former Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State wanted after he absconded arrest for arraignment on charges of fraud of up to 84 billion naira. He was the youngest governor for a while. Better Edu still got her own while to face. All these people agitating, we must have the youngest one there. Maybe if Peter Obi is there, who knows? There'll be another cobweb. Being young doesn't make you automatically the best candidate for ruling Nigeria. Doesn't make you immune from corruption, does it?
It doesn't, Femi. When the news came through this morning that his house has been or the
Surrounded.
state liaison in yeah, it's been it's been under bondage and all that. It didn't come as a surprise anyway. But as far as I'm concerned, if he feels that he doesn't have a case to answer, the honorable thing to do at this point in time is to actually report honorably to the office of the EFCC and put his case across to them in a very professional manner, in a way that is dignifying, rather than trying to hide under the canopy of the law by not making himself not allowing due process to be followed. It's quite unfortunate that we've been plagued by these serious issues of corruption by all these electable officers who are actually meant to represent the interest and the welfare of their people. And back to your initial question, we have 774 local governments in Nigeria. And until we begin to understand the importance of devolution of power needs to go back to the grassroots. Power needs to go back to the local government. You see, the local government, that is where the resources are. That is where the people are. Those are the people who understand the nitty-gritty of what needs to be done at local government level. Those are the areas that the federal, the state needs to concentrate on. Femi, I was in Nigeria for 8 months. And I had the opportunity to travel to so many parts of Southwest. And the level of poverty, the lack of care in those areas, is a cause for concern. And I think those are the areas that the government needs to work on to make sure that everybody in Nigeria have a sense of belonging, have a sense of purpose.
Okay, let me get on to Otumba. Well done. But I would hope, obviously, security permitting, that you will go to other areas of in the southeast and the north, so you understand that this so-called marginalization that you think is just exclusive to the Yoruba nation, you'll know that actually other areas are worse off than the southwest. I'll go to you, Otumba Oseni, on this Kogi Yahaya Bello matter. The EFCC has confirmed that the current Kogi governor, Ahmed Usman Ododo, Ododo is like the truth,
Ododo, yes.
Yeah. Ododo. Remember, I mentioned Ododo. He shielded Yahaya Bello from arrest. And I'm asking now, is it not time for the APC-led Kogi House of Assembly to impeach their governor Ododo for not being truthful, for harboring a felon and assisting ex-governor Yahaya Bello, a wanted felon from resisting arrest? Should they not be seeking to impeach the governor?
As a legal person, I want to say that's a thumb up. I think you get that one right, Femi, and I'll tell you why. Where there's no country in the whole world that is flourishing that without rule of law. For me, law, the laws, the rules, regulations, once they are working, once they are in place, where we can do a lot, we can achieve a lot. So for me, if Yahaya Bello, anybody, if I look at one of the most powerful countries in the whole world, where the former president is going trial, is going through a lot of things. So I don't know why Yahaya Bello, who is just one of the governors at his own time, and the rule is clear. After you finish, your immunity dissolves, so you will need to face. And I have no doubt in my mind that if he has no case to, he should go to court like one suggested. Go and tell EFCC, go to court and clear your name. But as it is, I'm very happy that the law is working. The law of when you finish, you can be arrested, you can be made to come and account for your good and bad deeds or whatever. And also, you're right. Also, I want to agree with you without any change that if Ododo is trying to cover up the bad deeds of predecessor, it should be impeached. It should be made to understand that she's breaking the law.
Absolutely,
100%. First time I'm going to agree with you.
Yes.
Okay, it's good that I put that question to you then. Citizen AY.
Yes.
PDP next extended the tenure of the embattled acting chairman and is to set up a reconciliation committee to unify the party. Crisis, what crisis they say in PDP? Is this reconciliation going to work after what the various groups did in the 2023 general elections? Do you think they're going to be able to harness and cooperate together with Wike, with Makinde, with Otto, and is it going to work?
I'm not a very strong expert in terms of the PDP machinations, so I wouldn't be able to give you too much in-depth or
Okay,
inside knowledge.
let me ask you. Go on.
But I will say that it is evident that the PDP has lost its way for some years now, and the fact that Wike is with the government as a de facto governor of Abuja is wielding much power from behind the scenes. That says a lot, in my view.
Okay.
Just my opinion.
Okay, look, I'm going to close that. Sorry, Reverend. I'm going to close that with Deacon because we're talking PDP. It was reported, or do you want to say something?
Yes.
You want to add to that?
Can I just quickly say, on the issue of the people, the powers being our local government, please, I need people to know this, and please listen to these words. I need you all to know you have the powers under section 14.2a and 42c to begin to participate in your governance in every community. These are the words. Section 14.2a. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. That applies to each and every one of us. We are sovereigns. Secondly, 14.2c, you have the power to participate in your governance, because it said the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Combining those two powers, we can hold our governors to account, from your local government chairman, state assembly members, house of reps, senators, and even governors. You can call them to town hall meetings. You need to have monthly town hall meetings to monitor what's happening in your community. If you're not involved, you cannot make that change. We need to start that change from the bottom up using our sovereign powers. I hope people do take that on board. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's the best. That's the fastest way to get Yoruba Nation. Reverend, do you have anything to add before I go to Deacon?
Let me just quickly.
Thank you. Just to reinforce that concept of the local government, but unfortunately, we have put in place a process that makes the governors like an emperor. And so and that's why they deny the local government what rightly belongs to them. We are talking about marginalization. I live in Akute Alagbole area. Yeah, we've been calling on Governor Abiodun for the first 4 years. Another 5. This is 5th year. The road there had never been touched. So that
have they done the flyover at that Akute? Has it been finished?
No. They are saying the whole place is unpassable.
But it needs. This is why I'm saying we need to encourage our people to teach them, and I advocate for it in local languages. But go ahead. Yes.
We're over time. Deacon,
yes.
Deacon, you're the PDP man on the show, and I want to ask you this question. It was reported that Dino Melaye and Otom, the former Benue State governor, got into a fracas with Dino asking what is he doing there after Otom had declared his support for Tinubu in 2015 elections. Why did he not challenge Wike and Governor Makinde?
You see, Femi, I just want to focus on the key aspect that you highlighted earlier. You see, PDP were on a rescue mission, and if you really look at the chronology of events, going back to when Obasanjo was the president, the economy before he handed over power to late Yaradua to Ebele Jonathan, and the aftermath effect. I'll leave you guys to make your assessments as to the state of our economy then, before the baton of power was actually transferred to Buhari. So if you compare and do an in-depth analysis about the state of our economy during the PDP regime, which a lot of people have criticized my party for, and the sequence of events
at the polls.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. Look, now, Femi, for those of us who actually live in diaspora, will not understand the gravity and the magnitude of what a lot of Nigerians, in terms of poverty alleviation, and what they have to go through on a daily basis. Now, as I said earlier, if you compare the economy of Nigeria under Obasanjo, under Yaradua, Ebele Jonathan, to the time the baton was passed over to Buhari for 8 years of APC misrule and the neglect, then I think we are all matured and sensible enough to draw our own conclusions. Now,
okay, divided house can't stand. Do you think that PDP can regain its glory?
Tinubu has not even started his own policies. What he's trying to do now is to clear up the mess that was created by the previous 8 years of the ABC administration under Buhari. So I think it's high time people appreciate.
PDP. Will PDP be able to unite?
People
Will you be able to unite?
The 16 years of PDP rule and what we achieved in government. So I think we need to understand that
will PDP be able to unite under the leadership now? I know you were talking about Showunmi. Is it Showunmi becoming the new chairman? But it looks like they want to keep the chairmanship in the North Central.
Femi, I've always advocated this many times on the program. PDP as a party is bigger than an individual, Wike or anybody. Atiku, name anybody. The most important thing is for you to be a credible opposition. Why are we in the position today is because the people said, okay, we are tired of 16 years PDP rule, now we want APC. Now the people are now saying, okay, we are tired of 8 years, Tinubu is there, let's see how events are going to unfold in the next 4 years. So now we want to rescue power back from APC come 2027, and I know before 2027, we will have the right mechanism in place. Every party has their own fair share of problem. All the rancors and the in-house problems that we have, by then, we should have got our priorities right, restore the party back to power, his past glory, and be prepared to rescue power back in 2027. That's the notion now. That's the idea, and that's what we intend to do.
We all wish you well. I mean, but if I can see Article 2027 loading, and if that's the case, I don't see that working. And I want to thank you for joining us on tonight's show. It was a great one. Enough is enough. Please make sure, Sorosuke, don't be shy, don't be silent. If you see something, say something. And if you can't take it no more, do something about it. Niger go better. Believe in one Niger. We all want a better Niger. Big shout out to our sponsors, Niger Beauty Products, Share My Haven Hair and Beauty Spa for massage therapy and skincare, and Masasi B Fashions. For sponsorship and advert placements, contact Prime View Television. I'm your host, Mr. Femi Oke, the founder of Better Niger. See you same time next week. We'll debate yet another hot topic. Over and out. Stay in the studio, guys.
Prime View TV. New media with a difference.
Okay, guys, gotta wrap